everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to give a quick update on some health issues that I have been dealing with or recovering from. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I actually did a video about 2 months ago. It's titled How I Almost Lost My Kidney. I'll leave that in the description box below. So I go into more detail in that video, kind of what was going on leading up until that point. So when I left you last time, I had a stent in my left kidney that went, basically, I explained it before, it's a little tube. It has a curlicue on the top, and then it's a tube that goes down, has a curlicue on the bottom. So it starts in your kidney and it goes down, and the purpose of that is to open up that tube is called a ureter. So it's to open it up so your urine can drain from your kidney to your bladder. And the reason I had that in there is my ureter had a stricture. So it had a narrowing. Basically, it was too closed. My kidney could not drain properly, so I was getting extremely sick. I was in a lot of pain. I was hospitalized a few different times. So when I left you last time, they had basically put a little balloon in there, they had dilated the ureter, and then they had put a stent in that tube that I'm talking about. That stent was quite a bit bigger than the last one I had in, so it was actually extremely painful to have it in there, and I had to have it in for 6 weeks. It was a nightmare, you guys, and I'm so glad it's out. Now that procedure was not 100% successful. The goal was, if we left the stent in there long enough with a bigger stent, that hopefully it could retrain the ureter to remain open. Unfortunately, it's not remained open, but it's not completely closed like it was. So after having the stent removed, I had a follow-up ultrasound, and my kidney is still showing that there is some urine in the kidney. It's not completely full like last time, but there is some in there. So I have another ultrasound coming up on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, to see where it's at. We're gonna see if it got better, if it got worse, if it's the same, and kind of go from there. My doctor basically said that if it has gotten worse or I become in pain, I've had a little bit of pain, but nothing like before as far as in my actual kidney. So he basically said, you know, if it's not draining anymore and it fills up more, or I'm in more pain, we'll have to ultimately do the surgery that I thought we were originally going to do, which is to remove the portion of the ureter that is restricted, that is narrow, and then reconnect the good pieces. In the last video, I mentioned that we didn't know what the cause of the stricture was, and that I was actually going to see a gynecologist. It turns out that we still don't know 100% what the cause is, but my urologist, the one that deals with the kidney and the urine and all of that, and the bladder and all of that, basically says that it seems like it's scar tissue from, I had kidney stones back in 2014. So he believes that the surgery I had then caused some damage. So that's kind of what we're kind of just leaving it at. Originally, he thought he saw something on the CAT scan around my ovary area, so that's why he wanted me to see my gynecologist. He didn't know if it was a mass or what. It turned out I did have a cyst on my ovary. I saw my gynecologist. He said the cyst was only like 2 centimeters. So he said it's nothing worth doing surgery for, and it was basically one of the cysts that's full of fluid versus something that might be full of pus or something like that. So basically something that should clear up on its own. So basically he reviewed the CAT scan and ultrasound and just said everything looks normal, everything looks proportionate, my uterus looks proportionate to having 2 children. He also mentioned that even if the cyst was extremely large on that ovary, that it would not put constant pressure on the ureter to cause it to narrow anyway. So he kind of just basically said it has nothing to do with your female organs. So that was kind of, it was good, but it was also kind of left me thinking, well, what is wrong, or why is it still there, or whatever. But anyway, so that's kind of done. At least I know everything's good there. So I had the stent in. 2 weeks after having it in, I had I had been in so much pain that I went back to the urologist, and I was crying and begging him to take it out. Now, I wasn't having pain in my kidney, I was having pain in my bladder, and the only thing, like, so when you walk, like, you would feel it in there, and it hurt to walk, it hurt to sit. I could basically just lay down. If I did walk, I would pee blood after walking, and then it came to the point where it hurt so bad even to pee. It just burned, and I know it's too much information, you guys, but that's what it was like. The only way I could describe it was every time I peed, I felt like someone had sliced me open with a knife and was like pouring bleach or something there. And I told my husband, I was like, every time I go pee, I want to like claw my eyeballs out. Like, that's how much pain I was in. I would just basically yell into my towel. It was insane. So I went to the urologist and I was like, please. I had mentioned this before, if you guys had followed before, that I was going to try to work for Amazon for the holiday season. And this was like right when I started, and I was basically working a 10-hour shift, walking and climbing up and down a step stool all day. I lasted 3 days and I quit. I was in that much pain, I just couldn't do it. And so I went to him and I was begging him, take the stent out. And he basically was like, you're thinking of short term, I'm thinking of long term, I'm trying to do the best thing for you, so let's, give you some other medications and see, give it a couple days. If the medication doesn't work, then I'll take the stent out. And he goes, but you have to understand that the procedure will probably not work. And he's like, are you okay with that? At the time, you're in so much pain, you're just like, yeah, I'm okay with that. So they ended up putting me on a few other medications. So I ended up being on a total of 5 medications. I was on a pain medication, I was on a anti-inflammatory medication, I was on a anti-spasm medication, I was on a antibiotic, and then I was on another medication. I'm not even sure what the purpose of it was, but it made your urine blue. I know in the past when I've had like urinary infections, they've given me something that turns your urine orange, and that's kind of like, I think, to numb the area. Well, whatever this blue thing, it didn't do anything. It was either one of the antibiotics I had or the anti-inflammatory. My vision totally blurred out, totally blurry. I couldn't read paper in front of me. I stopped taking them. The antibiotics I was supposed to be on for like 10 days, so I finished the antibiotics in 10 days, and the anti-inflammatory is so strong that they said you cannot take it more than a certain amount of days in a row, and so that's why I don't like medication, you guys. There's too many side effects, there's too many things that almost make the situation worse than before. So I ended up not taking both of those, and then my vision came back, so I'm not sure which one it was. I'd also mentioned before I had an antibiotic that broke me out like crazy, so I let the pharmacist know, so he put, that I had an allergy for that one, so it was just kind of like, I don't know, a nightmare. So he gave me these other medications. I basically was able to make it the 6 weeks, honestly, because I wasn't working. If I would have had to continue to work and walk around for 10 hours and be up and down a step stool for 10 hours, there's no way I would have made it. So I ended up just taking the medication that he gave me and basically being in bed. It was bad. So 6 weeks went by, I had it removed, and usually when you have it removed, for about a day, you're gonna have a severe pain on that side. So I had severe pain for about a day, almost to the point where I was like, should I go back to the hospital? I don't know if this is normal, but some people have that. So within 24 hours, that pain, the pain was gone, but then you do have a lot of blood in your urine, more so like clots of blood, and I had that for about 2 days. So I was consider that kind of like my 3 days of recovery time just from having the stent removed. Now I'm still in recovery because, like I mentioned, my kidney is still not draining 100%. So I'm still in recovery in that sense. We're still kind of monitoring it, so there's a good chance that I might end up with the surgery we were trying to avoid. And I've kind of just put it as it must be, it's just like an insurance thing. Like if you have to follow the steps, you have to do everything, you have to try everything before, and if nothing works, then you do the surgery. So that's kind of what I'm just choking it up to be. Even though I was extremely mad. My husband and I were to the point where, do I hire a lawyer? Am I getting the right treatment? Yeah, so I mean, unfortunately, it's just kind of like those are the steps that you have to take sometimes, and I don't know, I'll keep you guys posted on that, but it was extremely painful. Some people have stents in and they're okay. Some people, it's gonna be extremely painful. I do not wish it upon anybody at all. I am definitely doing way better now that it's out because I'm not on any of those medications anymore. I don't have any of the pain, which is good. So we're gonna monitor my kidney, and maybe it opened it just enough for it to function, or maybe I'll have the other surgery. We'll kind of just have to see. The other thing is, while I was that 6 weeks, I did end up enrolling Arcadia into school. If you guys aren't familiar, I homeschool, so I was in so much pain and not able to do anything, and so I went ahead and enrolled her in school. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on basically that whole process and kind of, you know, the whole emotional state behind it as well. So I mean, there's been a lot of things that happened. Also during that 6 weeks, Ricky was in a car accident, so I'll talk about that more in a different video. But for this one, I just wanted to give you an update on the health with my kidney. So basically it came down to, I had a biopsy taken, so I do not have any cancer, which is good. I mentioned in my last video that I have had cervical cancer back in 2007. I'm happy to report that I am still officially cancer-free as of 10 years cancer-free, which is awesome. So that was good news. Everything in the female area is normal, which is good. So basically it's just that portion of my ureter. The urologist just said, I think it was damaged from the last time you had kidney stones, and we're kind of leaving it at that, and now we're just treating the tube itself. So we'll kind of see what's going on. But I want to thank you guys again for all of your amazing prayers and well wishes from that previous video. It really meant a lot. I usually try to respond on every single comment, and that video was just such a great almost overwhelm of all the comments, so I just kind of thanked all of you in general. But I do, from the bottom of my heart, you guys, thank you so much for being there for me, and I'm excited that I'm going to be back here on YouTube. And if you saw before, I'm attempting Vlogmas, so I will... If you want to know more about what Vlogmas is, you can watch the introduction video that I posted at the beginning of the month. And otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. As always, thanks for watching. Bye.